everyone. Welcome to Let the Legends Talk, episode 2. And on here today, we have a very special guest. Part of the why we do this podcast is to talk about people who have had a distinct impact in this industry. And today, I'm very honored to announce that our second guest that we have today is none other than the first 202 Mr. Olympia champion. He is a father. He is also a military Air Force veteran. I'm here to welcome you guys. Please welcome David Henry to the show.
Hello, guys. Well, I'm glad to be here. Like I said, previous, thanks for bringing me and having me here. So, all good.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, David, before we even delve into like more of the bodybuilding type of stuff, I just want to hear, how did you start? Essentially, like what actually even got you into bodybuilding, for starters?
Well, I mean, my story hasn't changed. I have nothing to lie about. People bullshit all around the internet. I'm kind of personally tired of it, which is why I'm not on it a lot. But anyway, like I said, I have nothing to hide, man. My career is this story and everything else, and there's only a few people on the planet that know exactly what I do, period, and I live with them. So there's that. So all the rest of the crap that you guys are here is straight bullshit. And I'll tell you it's bullshit. I've been flamed a lot of people on some of the podcasts. And I'm out of fucks, man. Sorry. So there's that. That's the military Henry. That's just the day Henry is. I started essentially bodybuilding because I didn't make WWE tough enough. I was stationed in Korea at the time, and they came through doing WWE Tough Enough series, and I tried out stuff. I made everything other than the height. At the time, they wanted you to be 5'8". I'm 5'5". So I might be 5'4.5" as you get older and start doing some weights and stuff and start compressing your spine. But either way, that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be a pro wrestler and stuff. So those dreams got shot down back in '98, I believe it was. So we'll just go ahead and leave it there at that time period. Those y'all that weren't even born then, but either way, that's what I wanted to do. And I do have a personal friends of WWE. At the time, it was WWF. That's when I grew up. You guys didn't know, but they got sued by the World Wildlife Foundation for copyright infringement and all this other gaga. So they changed it to World Wrestling Entertainment because they just call it the male soap opera. If you guys still follow any of that stuff.
I didn't know that's why they actually changed it. I didn't know that's why they changed the name. Because I remember it was WWF. Yeah.
I grew up in the AWA era and then the WWF. The Sheik and Ric Flair and all those guys were part of all that stuff before it changed over and things like what it was. I've been in a couple live matches and stuff like that. Like I said, The Rock and I are personal friends. He's actually introduced a couple of us on the stage at the Olympia and stuff, was backstage and stuff. I got an actual voicemail from him when he sent me a pair of his PR2 trainers and stuff. So, I've been there, done that, and still rocking around, So there's where I started into bodybuilding. I was like, well, I've already had a physique. I was track and field growing up in high school. So my physique was already developed well ahead of everyone else's. Despite that, my little 16-inch arms and stuff, I was front flexing and gunning. And so somebody said, hey, you should just step on stage and bodybuild. I was like, what's that? And I didn't know anything about it. And I was a doinker, as we call it. We call it the doinker poses, all and stuff. So I took third in the lightweight novice class at Laughlin Air Force Base. It was only like 5 dudes, but either way, I took third and I was like, I can do this, and stuff. And I didn't do much else for quite a while up until like probably 18 years old. And then my mom worked at the commissary at Randolph Air Force Base as a cashier and stuff like that. And she had a dude over there and she was working with, and those guys took me under their wing and trained me for a little bit. But I think they did way too much for my young system. I didn't know what I was doing. I was wrecked every single day. Going in, I was totally trash. I was sore. I hurt in all body parts. I'm like, this ain't how it's supposed to be, Fred. So, I stopped. And I remember his son coming to the high school one day to chat on some things. And at the time, Fred Jr. had like 18-inch arms. And I was like, oh, those are the biggest things I've ever seen. And he was in the Army and everything. And I I was like, dude, he's like, get back in there, man, get after it and stuff. And I kind of left it, alone. I joined the Air Force again right after that and stuff, and went in and had my first duty station and stuff. I was sticking around the gym. I was probably in the gym 1 or 2 days a week and stuff. Nothing serious during those times. And then 9/11 hit. I got super serious about that. I was one of the second units deployed over there. I was a B-1 bomber guy. So for those that don't know the Air Force career, I'm a 2W1 462. So I'm a 462 2W1. That's our AFSC. That's our shred code. That's our whatever other branches call what you do for your service. That's what I was. I'm a weapons guy. I'm a flight line weapons loader. I was a team chief. I was a weapons NCOIC at the end of my career at the 55th Helicopter Rescue Unit right before I retired. So there's my career in a nutshell. But I started training over there, and I won the OSAN middleweight and the most muscular award when I was stationed over there as well in Korea.
Yeah. So yeah, I do want to take us a little bit back because you've said some interesting things that I kind of want to delve a little bit back with. So yeah, the first thing you mentioned was you said your mom worked at the commissary at the Air Force Base. So the first thing that comes to my mind is you are from a military family,
100%.
pretty much. So I'd like to at least start there because you mentioned a few things. So you said you were in Korea already at that point. So I just want to get back to your childhood, pretty much. So essentially, where are you from in the United States? It seems like you've traveled all over the world, being that you are a military kid. So I just want to kind of start there. Like, were your parents in the military? How many siblings you have, and how did you end up in Korea at 16, 17 years old, right?
Oh no! I wasn't that young, but
Okay.
no, I am from a military family 100%. My dad
Yeah.
is retired Air Force Master Sergeant E7.
Okay.
He's a C5 flight engineer before he retired in '97. I came in earlier than that. We'll just leave it like that. And I retired as an E7 Master Sergeant as well as he did. Yeah, I travel all over. I claim San Antonio, Texas as my home base originally because I was there for a great percentage of my adolescent years up to adult before I rolled out and joined the military and traveled elsewhere, of course. So I was born at Fitzsimmons Army Medical Center in Denver, Colorado, just for those that don't know. So
Okay.
during that time period, but we transferred down to San Antonio because my grandmother was in ill health and was not going to make it. So they transferred my mom from Lowry to now close down to Randolph, and so or back to Randolph, Randolph and everything. And so we lived down there and stuff. And my grandmother's passing and stuff like that. So that's how I ended up in Texas itself.
Okay. Are you an only child? You have siblings?
No, I'm the oldest of two brothers, one sister. My brother Devin just retired after 27 years in the Air Force as well. His wife is, I think, retired. She's probably a captain or a major by now up at F.E. Warren in Wyoming at the Minuteman missile silos. And then my younger brother Paul, I think he's up there in Wyoming as well. And then my sister Trevania is kicking and still in Texas. So.
Wow. So the word I just heard is just don't mess with the Henry family, essentially.
My brother actually did it. So I'm hearing and seeing is a world-class jiu-jitsu champ. Has gone to school and shit, man. And, hey, impressive. Very impressive,
Yeah.
Doing it and stuff. I grew up in martial arts. Actually, both of us grew up in martial arts, white bushing, and did that as a kid. That's all the energy we had. We didn't go out joining gangs and crap like that. That's not where we're from. That's not what we do. That's not my family. We weren't raised on the wrong sides of town where things happen like that. Fortunately for us, okay?
Yeah.
So, we grew up, doing all kinds of outlets of that kind of stuff. He just happened to stick with it. I dabbled with it off and on and stuff. I actually did a bunch of rolling when I was in Korea the second time for 7 months as well. Got my blue belt in jiu-jitsu as well. So I learned to use my strength to my advantage. So don't think I just pick up weights. Got to be the last thing to be thinking about.
Yeah. So yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to, take some stop gaps and kind of get a perspective of where we were. So yeah. So you did your first show over on the base, like you said, And then how did you kind of end up, going straight into, NPC, winning your pro card and whatnot, and the journey from there?
Okay. So I deployed after 9/11, like I said, went over there. And while I was over there, I met some powerlifters because that's pretty much the only type. They were limited equipment when you're in the desert. So they had a California tent with a bunch of stuff put in there, squat racks, things like that, with the power rack and everything else. Very limited on the weight selection of stuff, and not a whole lot of equipment. They were putting a lot more stuff in as I was leaving, but that's how I started over there. So I pretty much did some powerlifting, some power bodybuilding, if you will, down there, core lifts and things. And I met some really cool people that showed me what to do. I think, geez, I went over there at 160 pounds or some shit. I came back at like 181. I gained a lot of weight over there eating all the food. That's all you had to do. I mean, you work, you train, and if you didn't have to go to work, you stayed in the gym because that was a communal place to be. So during that time, I came back and I was like, man, I can do this. Everybody was like, man, you're huge. I'm like, I'm 180 pounds, 5'5". I mean, I guess height-wise, I probably look like a meatball, but whatever. So I met a dude, and his name was Rich Doherty from Beverly International. And Rich said, hey, I can tune you up and stuff, and at the time, again, 100% natural dude, doing stuff. And he got me ready to rock, man. And I got home and I think in March, bro. And he had me ready for the NPC Nationals, I think, the USAs. And stuff, and like a couple months. I mean, I came home and won all the local shows like everybody else does, and in
Yeah.
state. You go on local shows, you think you're the heat, Before that, okay, we backtrack. Sorry, before that, I was doing my own type of training and reading Flex magazine and taking all the baby food diets and stuff and doing my own thing without assistance and things like that in Texas. And I won all the shows. Texas Natural and all this stuff. And it was a Prince Harrison show and things. Betty Pariso and her husband at the time were running stuff on. Those guys are running shows, and I was winning those and everything else. I was like, man, I can do this. I can do this. I was like, I can go to nationals. And everybody's like, don't do nats. Don't do anything. Do juniors before you go get smoked and humbled. It's like, okay, whatever. So I was going to. Got deployed in November, didn't come home for a while, got back, and I had like limited time to prep for the USAs. So Rich Doherty took me under his wing after I saw some assistance from him saying, man, I can't do something else. I need some help. So he got me prep ready. I took second to Stan McQuaid. Wow. At the time. Nobody knew that part. Well, the funny part is a guy who is still around, but he's doing his own thing, Troy Moore, sorry. He's running like a hot rod shop and stuff wherever he may be, but he still keeps contact. Walked by me, man. I was sitting at the top of the stairs in the back of the audience, and he goes, "Hey, bro, you know you ain't gonna win this, right?" I'm like, "I'm gonna win, man." So what do you mean I ain't gonna win this? He goes, "They don't know you, man." He goes, "You're not gonna win this. You look phenomenal, but you're not gonna win this." I was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." The way it happened that night, when it did happen like it did, dude, I was fit to be tied.
Everyone's first national. I
was PIST.
Everyone gets that experience in nationals, man. It's in some way or form or another, It's
I'm telling you how it happened, and I'm dropping names because that's who told me, and that's what it was. So when I remember seeing Stan backstage, man, after the show, and I was like, "Yo, you gonna be a Nats?" He was like, "Nah." I said, "Good, because I'm gonna beat you." He can tell you I told him that. And so I took some time in between. I was 164 pounds at the time for that one. And I got hold of Rich again, and we said, "Okay, man, I'm bringing a Nats." So went to Nats, man, later on that year. And there I was, straight ones across the board, Rick Jackson and all those other guys that are now defunct, Eric Bowie, stuff like that. Or I got straight ones across the board. I was 167 and a quarter away in.
Yeah.
So that's when I turned pro.
And let me just bring it back for the audience. So this is around, what year was this?
2002, November 28th.
2002. So at that point, it's not like today where pretty much, the pro cards are kind of per class, or were they doing that already? Or was it just, you were just overall, straight overall?
It was the class winners and then the overall as well. That was it. There was no freaking second, third, runner up. Now you're a pro card. Now you're a coach.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But at least that
right.
Yeah. At least that puts it in perspective, because in 2002, that was already happening. Sometimes when people talk about it today, they make it seem like this started in like 2010 or like 11, So it's been going on since the early 2000s, apparently.
So there was 31 guys in my class, I think, at that time. So they could shut the hell up.
Yeah.
This ain't you were the best out of 4 people on stage. No, man.
Yeah. So, Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to stay here for a second. When you won that pro card, what were your expectations moving up into the pro league?
Well, you hear any and everything, because at the time, man, it was the time of mass monsters, bro. I mean, it was, Nasser, Jay, and those guys are still around, and Kevin LeBron and stuff. Those guys were still, who I looked at. Lee Priest was there, still kicking and things. So they were like, man, you're gonna have to put on some weight, in order to be competitive. But I'm like, I can do this. I was a stubborn dude, and I still am. But at that time, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this stuff. So I remember the first year I was supposed to compete. I didn't know. No one told me that you were supposed to apply for your IFBB. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm prepping for the one, I think, where Gunther beat freaking Ronnie at the time or whatever. The
Grand Prix.
Yeah, so I was prepping for that one. I'm all in World Gym, prepping and stuff, looking good, and did not know that you had to, first get your pro card that way, and next you had to sign a contract and stuff to get out there. So no one told me that. So I was severely disappointed. So I missed a whole year actively to compete because I didn't know any better. And that was 2003 of that. So, but fast forward to 2004, I was like, okay, we're ready to rock. And that's when I started training hard and harder and everything. And met Scott, my coach at the time, in 2003 as well. And we started DC training, and man, I blew up like crazy, responded extremely well to all the stimulus and everything. So there was
okay. So that's good to know. So you're actually a DC training disciple.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
Okay, he wrote my entire program after me pinging his ass for like 4 months. He didn't want to. If you don't know, he's an elusive guy to get a hold of, and if he coaches you and gives you anything, it's because he wants to. And everybody who say, "Oh, DC training," because they're pulling stuff off of videos, I still have the hard copy of every email he sent me of my training plan, so they can kick rocks with no shoes on if they think that they know the program.
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to get into the training aspect eventually, because so I'm gonna hold that for a second. So going on with the pro career, like you said, you got in touch with your new coach, and then you guys are kind of going through the gauntlet, right, as a new pro trying to make it to the Olympia. So what was that breakthrough moment for you where you actually ended up on the Olympia stage?
2004, I was taking a bunch of 7th places and stuff like that, which freaking sucked. I was like, man, I was just not big enough again. I'm still there. Darren Charles, was killing it and winning it and stuff like that. And he was placing high with that stuff. He and I would just meet up at different various points and events and things like that. For 2004, 2005, I got noticed by Muscle Tech, and that's signed a contract with those guys because I was doing so well and stuff. And then started just climbing up, as far as the rankings became and the placings. And then, of course, the infamous 2006 Ironman. I took second to Lee Priest, the only active pro right now to do so, especially at that contest. So and it could have went either way. It was apples and oranges, I guess. And people with physique, everybody's always his legs. Okay, it wasn't like I'm out of shape. So if you said I was out of shape, That'd be something. I was never out of shape, so that was a good thing. There's just body parts bringing up, okay, but I still had the freak factor of certain areas and stuff like that that gave me the win on a lot of things. So 2006 spawned off, man, and that's when Jim Lorimer actually called me. He called me. I was sitting in a hotel room right after that, and he says, "Hey, do you want to come to the Arnold Classic?" I'm like, "Yes." He goes, "All right." This is the first time we've ever extended a Arnold Classic invite to someone who's placed outside of the top six kind of stuff, previous years and everything. He goes, "All right, I'll get my secretary. She'll get hold of you and get your stuff booked and get out there." That was in February, bro, and I think I went out to Arnold Classic, man, in March like that weekend. So so they booked it fast, and that's the first time I competed at Arnold Classic right after that.
So
because I
this
placed,
whole
seventh, I think, to Craig Titus. That's what it was.
okay.
That
So-
other event.
So this whole time you're in this pro career, you're going through the circuit. Were you still in the Air Force during this time?
I didn't retire, guys, until 2014. Just to let you know.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's balancing that is a feat of itself, through an actual, pro career. So I guess my next question there, just coming on to the pro ranks and talking about this stuff, the main thing, like you said, was it was kind of like a size game, right? This is like the Ronnie Coleman, towards Ronnie Coleman era. So what was because as pros, right, we all have this thing in our head, right? It's like, all right, I'm here. I've done all this shit. I'm finally here. Where do I go from here? Like, am I doing this to just, make a living, or what was your end goal? Because at that point, if I was in your shoes, I'm probably thinking I'm probably not going to be Mr. Olympia, right? Because you're just too big.
You know what? I didn't honestly think that, but I knew that I was a great bodybuilder and stuff. I just had to put that in the judge's face to let them know that. So, you take a hard look at some things, and you ask yourself, like, where am I going to be with this? And so, literally, I think, man, that's, you transition to up in the ante, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
And I responded extremely well on to things, and blew up. I competed, and when I won the 202. Oh no, when I top 10 at the Olympia, I was 191 pounds, guys.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Top 10, open top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Wow.
a $14,000 paycheck. That was awesome for a little dude like me. I was like,
I think it's still 14,000 these days. I think it's even less for top 10 at the Olympia.
It probably is, man, at this point in time. Who knows? But dude, again, that was great money for dudes. Again,
Yeah.
still active, still had to go to work in uniform Monday morning. They can tell you, I was flying out there first thing Sunday morning and Sunday afternoons, man, getting my ass back to work, standing in the roll call at 6 a.m. Like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
But like Sergeant Hill just rolled out like Thursday. His ass back Monday. Yep.
So obviously the internet wasn't like prevalent back then. So like in your military base, did people know you were like an active world-class like pro bodybuilder? What was
They had an inkling, you take your top off and shit, they're like, oh, all right. It's hot in Arizona, guys. Come on. So like, so I take my top off and go out and work with my dudes, even though I wasn't supposed to. But I was like, I'm not in the office, man. I can't do this. I got to get from behind the desk and go help my people and stuff. So I'd be out there and stuff. And yes, it did show, and it got recognized and things. So I was in a lot of Air Force Times articles and magazines and stuff like that going up as well. So I was invited to guest pose at military bases and stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's like, I mean, who doesn't want that? That's the definition of American soldier. You know what I mean? Like, it looks good. Yeah,
for sure.
But all right, I want to, because you kind of skimmed over it for the 202. How did the 202 actually happen?
Yeah.
Like, give us like, how did it actually happen?
Shit talking going on. I guess Bob Ciccarella was like, those guys don't belong on the same stage, and why we need to divide weight classes and stuff. Game show Bob, that's what we call him. It sounds like it's on a game show every freaking time, right? So He was like, why cut it down to 2? If they can't handle it, then they need to, either get out or do something else or what. I'm like, dude, that's fucked up. That's not cool. They used to have the classes back then. We already knew that. They had the short and tall or whatever going on back when, to give somebody equal playing field. So, but he talked about it. They had to come up with a weight thing, and then 202. So fine. And he goes, it's not going to make it long. Everything's not going to last and stuff like that. He can tell you himself. He said that. So I had no reason to lie. I heard all the talk. He's like, you guys weren't supposed to make it as far as you are. Now you're the most popular attraction. I'm like, you were right. Because everybody's 5 foot and freaking 5 and under thinks they can make it there because they're short. That's the only thing they have in common. That's pretty much it. Right. Yeah. So then they raised it up, of course, to 212 because 202, we were blowing past that, man, like nothing. I was weighing in at 202 with socks on, and I had to take my socks off to make weight and stuff. And that's how critical they were actually holding it, which was good. And shit, I think if anything, now we cut down to maybe 202 when you drop water, and then you gain another 5 pounds when you load up, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, people are barely making they're barely making 212, after the weigh-in, that's it.
212.
Yeah. After the weigh-in,
back in an hour and a half.
Yeah. I wanted to staying on this 202, that first season of 202, what was the turnout like amongst the shows? Did you guys feel like you were going to have shows on the same level as the open guys? Like, was there apprehensiveness amongst all you guys?
No, unfortunately, I still to the day, keep to myself. I didn't converse with a whole lot of people. The only person I probably still talk to actively to this day is Jose Raymond. Mm-hmm. Literally, Jose is my dude. He and I have been, and probably guys in Studio too. He and I have been around the world literally together and been through the gauntlet of from the beginning. You know what I mean? So he's probably the only of the 2 guys I talk to the most, like literally talks to him. Yeah. So there's no real talk about if it was going to make it or not. We were just glad that we had a few sprinkling of shows and stuff that we can actually do that's separate from everybody else. There was no crossing over at the time and stuff. And then it just started getting bigger and bigger because every time we kept coming to the contest, they were like, we came to see you guys, They were like, to heck with all those big guys. No one can ever really get there. That's unrealistic. We come to see you guys because that's something we can get to, we can attain and stuff. I'm like, all right, cool, great. Thanks for supporting us and coming out and everything. So it started, 3-4 shows a year. Then it started getting, more than that. And I was like 10 to 12 to pick from kind of thing, and around the world, which was awesome. Because like I told people, I said, I didn't travel but a couple places in my military career, man. I had literally been all over the world in my bodybuilding career, all over the world. Some people haven't stepped out their time zone, man. I've been 14, 17 hours ahead time zones and stuff.
Yeah. No, so I still want to stay on this topic because this is the meat and potatoes of this. So you mentioned a few things, there was like 4 to 5 shows at the time. We're kind of back in that same cycle today with the 212 where, they're losing a couple of shows. There's a lot of uncertainty, amongst competitors. Is the 212 going to be phased out? So I just want your opinion based on you've traveled basically every single era of the iteration of 202 into the 212. How is it today? Do you feel like the 212 is still as good as it was, not from competitors, but from the shows themselves and what they're presenting, or there's something we can do to kind of make it better?
There's always something you can do to improve things, man. For one, get the promoters to do the right thing and do the same stuff. Like they need a handbook. There's, every one of us that has been on that stage have been to a contest where you're like, the lighting is nice, they're treating us right, that kind of stuff. And it should not be a handful of promoters doing that. It should be all of them. It should be a standard across the board that if you're going to put on any type of IFBB event, showcasing athletes and stuff, fitness, figure, wellness, pro bodybuilding, anything, physique, all the lighting needs to be the same. Everybody needs to be treated the same way. And you need to swap out judges. Stop having these same freaking judges in the same spot, and especially those that have never stepped on stage. Get some people that actually stepped on stage to be the judges as well. You shouldn't have one person making a call on things, and okay, they're the head judge. You're like, they don't judge, really. You want to see my side eye?
So that everything you said there applies to open as well. It applies to the entirety of bodybuilding.
Yeah, I'm thinking just a blanket statement. It all needs to be run the same, and your prize money should not be stuck at a certain level every year. If you claim that it's growing and you're selling out, then the prize money, I think, needs to go up to commensurate with that. Okay, I mean, like, tell me I'm wrong with that.
Yeah,
People
no,
are
absolutely.
making a living on this, or doing fairly well with this. I can't say necessarily making a living, but man, you expect a certain amount, and it should not be a dramatic drop from first to freaking fifth. For shit's sake, it's like, dude, if it's a 10K first, your fifth should not be $1,000. Like, drop it down a couple G at least a spot, but make it equal. Okay, 10, maybe 7, 5, 3, something like that kind of stuff. It shouldn't go from like, oh, the winner gets 15,000, second place gets 7.
Yeah, I mean, I've been of the opinion, it's not as popular, but I think outside of the 212 and open, there's too many shows. I think that the shows should be given to the highest bidder. So if you have the money, then you should have the ability to promote shows. Because if the argument is that promoters are breaking even, then should they be promoting shows to begin with? That's just the honest opinion, right? So I definitely agree with you there, but I want to scope it still to the 212. So in the United States right now, I believe we have about 4 212 shows. It's probably even less and now it's been removed from the Arnold, for example, as well. So people are kind of, speculating the 212 is kind of steadily being phased out, so to say.
Well, it's unfortunate that that's the talk of it, because I still plan on stepping on stage later this year if I can. Unfortunately, life took a hit on my behalf, which is why you guys didn't see me at all last year. But I'm still around. I'm still healthy, and as far as everything goes, it can be. Still got my wits about me and stuff, and I'm still training as I can. I'm running businesses and stuff, so that kind of sidetracked me quite a bit. But other than that, it's unfortunate 212 is if they are phasing out, that sucks, man. It's less platform for us to be on. And the United States is cool, but it's not, I guess, because we got us local. You want people to be coming and see you, so that would help if it was at least on certain areas, I guess, far East Coast, far West Coast, a couple down the middle. If make it 4 shows, and if promoters are breaking even, you're right. Should they be promoting shows? No, because we don't want to hear that. It's like, if you claim you have the audience, you have the excitement building about getting a contest in your area and stuff, then everything should reflect accordingly. Everything should reflect accordingly, and you should be making deals and stuff where it doesn't cost you that much. I mean, again, I'm running 3 businesses, so your bottom line is your profit margin. So if you can save on a hotel by putting somebody here or whatever else, then cool. Limit your competitors too. That's another one. Stop letting everybody who just qualified jump on that damn stage just because they want to be there to show. More bodies on stage doesn't necessarily equate to more bodies in those seats, man.
Yeah,
great. Cut it off. Say, hey, if you don't get your stuff in a timeline, capped it here, because this is my budget. Overseas, that's what they got. That's what they have. They have a limited budget for a certain amount of individuals, so they cap. The Arnold has it. The Olympia has it. Make it for all the ones that are not those caliber shows, but that are qualifiers. But cap it, maybe 10 to 12, man. And still with the top 5 getting prize money or something like that. Leave it right there.
Yeah, I agree, because I feel strongly about this because I'm a shorter bodybuilder myself. I really thought I was going to end up in the 212 coming up, but life has a way. I ended up just being a lot bigger than I anticipated. So for me, it's something that I really feel strongly about, because the argument that's being made is that guys like Sean Clarita, guys like Keon Pearson, because they can place as top 5 competitors, in any open show, that means that the 212 should not exist, which to me doesn't make any sense, because those are the top 3 in the entirety of the division. right? Like there are other guys that are still making a good living from this actual division that, yeah, they may not place top 3 at the Olympia, but they could win other 212 shows, you know, that show up throughout the circuit. So, yeah.
The problem I see, man, Kenny, is that they're letting the crossovers happen.
Yeah.
You're allowing you to double dip. I was smacked up and down, like verbally, about doing crap like that when I was coming up in the ranks.
Mm.
You know, it's like you stay either where you're at there. You know, if you're gonna do your 202, you can't cross into the Open Olympia, and vice versa, kind of stuff. So stay in your lane. It's like, man, stop trying to be greedy with the money and jumping out of there to go do another show to try and prove something. It's like, what do you have to prove? Be the best.
So you feel the crossovers are part of what is fueling this issue, essentially.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. You just won $30K in the 212. Now you're gonna jump over to the Open and place like top 3 or 4. And that doesn't sound very, very that doesn't sound right to me at all. And it's like the rest of the guys who they're like, what does that say about them too? You know? You know that you're snagging a spot right there. If you were that good, pick your lane. I'm doing this every time I'm driving down the road, man. I drive so much now. I'm that angry driver behind your ass doing this. Left or right, pick a freaking lane. And I hope you're looking in the rearview mirror because that's me.
Yeah, in Jersey, we just use our blinkers. You just go right behind you, and just throw the blinkers all day. You know,
it's like ridiculous, but they can see me, man, coming. I'm like, dude, which one are you splitting track? What are you doing? So, but like pick a lane, stay in it, man. I mean, the top guys can't compete in all the shows all the time, you know. So they just like we were doing earlier was picking your main contest, you know, the Olympia, the Arnold, some of the overseas shows that were really good to do, Asia Grand Prix, stuff like Tony Doherty's shows, stuff like that. And that's where you saw, of course, your main top 1, 2, 3 dudes doing it. I get it. Okay, but the other little ones, you know, somewhere in Puerto Rico, the Spain, China, stuff like that, some of the top guys are going to be getting there. So, hey, that's your better chances of making a mark over there as well, you know, so do that. You know, I think if they kept it at about 12 shows total throughout the year, if it's only 4 in the States, whatever, getting out there, because it's an expense too, flying to these other countries. Yeah. So chances are those top guys, if they don't have a sponsor, won't be getting out there because you got to foot it the bill yourself, stuff like that, and you have a lot better placing on that. You know, and if you just stay trained for your one contest a year because you know you're a top 3 or 4 dude, I mean, you're gonna make enough money at that if that's what you know are in here still for. You know, besides just submitting a legendary status, then you'll be all right.
Yeah.
No, it's your day job.
David, I don't want to go backwards. And I know you said that you were really only close with Guy, excuse me, a few guys in the 212 and the 202. But, you know, when I watch videos back and listen to guys talk about the 212, it sounds like in general, you guys were such a close-knit group. And it felt like the 212 had all these different personalities, right? Like everybody had their own kind of brand. I don't know if I personally feel that in the 212 as much these days. And I just was wondering, like, what do you think attributed to that, like, close knitness that you guys had, and everybody was kind of their own person and eye grabbing in their own way?
Lack of social media. Write that down, people. Write that down. Lack of social media. Social media killed every freaking thing there is right now. Okay, just they don't want to talk about it because everybody's afraid. Dude, say it. Social media fucked us over big time for contracts, for supplement deal, all that stuff. Okay, at the height of my career, man, with Muscle Tech, I was with them. Jose Raymond was with me as well. He can tell you they made a phone call in 2010 canning us because they were going to go in a different direction. Essentially, killing off our 6-figure a year contracts and stuff. Branch Warren was with me. You know, Dexter Jackson was with me. Johnny Jackson was with me. Jay Cutler was on there. All those guys, all the top guys were on there, okay, at the time. And we all had great contracts, man, you know, and we had to wait for magazines to come out to see what the heck we were lying about. I mean, not lying, but somebody was writing about. Right? So yeah, we had ghostwriters while y'all bullshitting around. I'm just gonna tell you right there. We can do what y'all saw. So that's what killed it, man. You know, we were cool as hell, man. We traveled to contests. We'd we started cell phones. We're not that damn old. We texted, hey man, where you at? What show you getting? All right, I won't do that one. Because and we'd actually literally like game plan. Like, Jose, which show you doing, bro? Okay, I can't do that one. I'm too subtle, So it was rough voice, but we text like that back and forth. And when we got there, man, we hung out. We literally have stories of naked bodybuilders running down hallways, people catching butt cramps. That's for. I'm just saying, it's people being locked out of their room, kind of stuff. We have all that kind of stuff going on that we could tell stories about. And that's how close we were with things. But once social media hit, everybody was for themselves.
Yep.
How many influencers can I get? And that, I think, drove the whole how popular you are on where you're going to do on the stage. That's horseshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying that's crap.
Yeah.
I think I got like 123,000 followers, but man, I tell you what, it doesn't seem like it because every time I go to a pet store, grocery store, wherever, they're like, "Hey, bro, I've been buying some milk with my daughter." And some guy she was getting freaked out. She's like, "This guy keeps looking at me. Keep looking at me." And then got in line and check it out. And he's like, I was telling him, "Hey, sir, are you Dave Henry, the pro bodybuilder?" I said, "Yes." I told you, I knew it. So I'm still being recognized despite the not having 1.4 million, people looking at me and stuff, So it happens in strange ways. So it's not like, it's not there. And I appreciate the people for it, man. But I just think it's too much emphasis placed on that. It really is.
Yeah. Listen, David, there's a level of fame that you guys pre the social media era have that my generation, I don't think we'll ever will, right? So you gave a good example of that. I'm with Animal, and I spend a lot of time with Evan Centopani. Mm-hmm. Evan's been retired for, at this point, 15 years.
Yeah.
But any place we go to, any gyms, he is nationally recognized anywhere, and like you said, it's not like the social media. Yeah, he's got a somewhat decent following, but it doesn't even reflect close to the reality of what you typically see on a daily basis. So it's kind of like you said, I don't know if it's because you guys had the magazines, so you guys were portrayed as actual larger than life people, right? Yeah. Versus my generation, we're so accessible because all you need to do is send me a DM and say, "Hey, you look like crap today." It's the separation is not there, right? Compared to like what you guys kind of had.
That's true. That's true. 100%, man. I agree fully with that. But unfortunately, you can't uninvent what's been invented. And I tell people that all the time. And, we're not going backwards. It's unfortunate. AI's taking over a lot of things. Social engineering and stuff like that. And if you're not with the game, you're going to get left behind. I get it. But at least know a little bit of something. You don't have to be, well versed in everything that's going on. But if you're running any type of businesses like I'm doing and stuff like that, you should use some of that to your advantage. If you want to succeed, right? You want to still keep making your money. That's why you're running a business. You don't have to work for everybody else. Then you got to use AI and you got to use ChatGPT and you got to just get on the social media sporadically. You don't have to live and die like a freaking phone.
But even with bodybuilding. Even with bodybuilding today, like I tell a lot of national level competitors, a lot of them aspire to want to get supplement contracts and things where you're not getting free protein, you're actually getting paid. Like you said, those are metrics that they actually look at. Can you produce your own content? Can you have a YouTube channel? It's no longer what place you placed on stage. That's part of it, but the main chunk of what they're looking at is the analytics of what you can bring to their business. So
you guys are actually still collecting paychecks? Because I'm surprised you.
Well, it's not six figures.
I'm not collecting no paychecks.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm telling you right now, because there's guys out there right now, influencers and stuff like that, with a shit ton of a following that claiming they're sponsored, bro. And everybody who I said free shit doesn't pay bills. I said it all day long. Free stuff does not pay bills unless you're selling it, I guess, afterwards. I said, so if you're getting a jug of free protein and you're allotted $250 of stuff a month, you are not sponsored. Like
you're a salesman. You're a salesman. You're advertising your product for them. You're a salesman.
You're not getting paid, bro. I said, what we did, we got paid.
Yeah.
We endorsed this, take this, I do kind of stuff, but they also threw the paycheck on top of that to account for all that stuff. In addition to getting stuff per month. If you're just getting free stuff and you run around here with all your damn Gymshark shit and stuff because they send it to you and stuff, you're not sponsored, man.
Yeah.
They're giving you stuff for free advertising pretty much. And what are you doing for them? Every time I see people turning around, got their ass and look, you know, and stuff. So like you're not getting paid, man. And if you're getting a couple $100 a month, okay, fine. You're sponsored. You can say that. If you get any type of monetary gain from that, then yes, you're sponsored.
What you'll see is like you said, social media has changed things where those 6-figure contracts that we're talking about was reserved strictly for the pro bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Today, those contracts have been opened up past bodybuilding. So you still got your Urs and your Martins that are making those kind of 6-figure contracts. But then there's another pool of, influencers like, a Sam Sulik or, one of these Gymshark kids, that all the 20-year-olds are following. Those are the people taking a contract from the bodybuilders that are kind of up and coming, and that's the unfortunate part. I always say for the newer bodybuilders like me, if you're a new national level bodybuilder coming up, the better you get on stage is where your following will come from. Focus on the bodybuilding, but don't forget that you are your brand as well. So the better you do as a bodybuilder, all of these things you're doing on the side, you may have 1,000 followers today, but once you start winning shows, the groundwork is already set up and everything just kind of scales up exponentially as well.
Yeah. I agree with you, man, on that. Definitely, focus on what you're supposed to be doing first. The rest of that stuff will follow. I get it. And that's what I was doing. That's what I've been doing. I'm not actively trying to run out and gain any type of following and that kind of stuff. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. It's not killing my 3Fs, man. You're not messing with those factors. So I stopped making a living from bodybuilding years ago, and my wife can tell you that stuff. That I used to make a living, by bodybuilding. And then it started going to, I was making a living through bodybuilding. And once it started phasing down, it's like, okay, you're not supposed to be doing them now for the money kind of stuff. I'm trying to cement my legend. But some factor in there is trying to make sure that every placing or something in my repertoire is trying to be filled. And that's not cool at all. I ain't a 12th place bodybuilder. But that I've never been a 12th place bodybuilder. So for those couple of factors that happened in my career, it's just total BS itself. I know I'm better than that. People know I'm better than that. And I don't know who thinks I pissed somebody off, but I didn't. I try to be cool with everybody. I'm not on social media flinging dirt, maybe because I'm not hobnobbing and hanging out with the people who are supposed to make a difference. I just won't be that guy. Sorry, I told everybody. I said, I'm brown enough. I don't know. I don't need to. I don't need to be hanging with that, man. I tried that. It didn't work so well.
Ken, I don't know if you have a question you want to move into, but I got a kind of a funnier one. At least to me, it's an interesting one that I've always wondered about. So I guess I'll ask that. So for those who don't know, on David's page, he is the OG giant killer.
That's right.
David, what do you think about these nicknames being recycled? Because I see it all the time into newer bodybuilders. And I don't want to throw any shade at anybody else because the other giant killer is a fantastic bodybuilder. But how do you feel about you being the OG giant killer and now that nickname has been gifted to somebody else?
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I didn't name myself. I'll tell you exactly. You can't just make one up yourself and run with it. That just seems like what happened. Okay. I was given that nickname by Dan Solomon and Bob Ciccarello in 2008 when I won the Olympia wild card and stuff as well. Okay, so I was given that. And as a matter of fact, Chris Dickerson, I was walking behind him across the jet bridge between hotels one year. He was like shuffling along. He's like, turn around, look at me, goes, man, I mean, never seen nothing like it. I said, what's up, Chris? I ain't something, man. He goes, you are like the OG giant killer. I was like, see, that's what's up. He said that.
Yeah.
Chris Dickens said that to me. Okay, I didn't make this shit up. I wasn't given that their name, so I took it and rolled with it. So I earned that through whatever auspices they gave it. That's me. So I'm keeping that.
Right.
Yeah. I've got a random one. And I don't know how this will go, but when I was coming up and following your career, I heard somewhere, and I need to verify. I heard you were a chef. Is this true?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I cook competitive barbecue.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah, dude, that's what. Yeah, come on, man.
Okay,
Ooh,
we're gonna
now
have
we're
to,
talking.
we're gonna have to talk after this pod. Then we're gonna have to
No,
talk.
no, because that guy looks like a freaking TV cooking network show, bro.
Okay.
Whoa.
I got two smokers. I got a vertical. I got a Traeger. I was sponsored by Blackstone. I was sponsored by Traeger. I was sponsored by MasterChef. I
Wow.
got all that. They sent me all the
Whoa.
stuff for free.
Okay. All right.
See.
Yeah,
So David, you see, you're fucking up, David. We should be
yeah,
having a
that's how
Cooking with
that's how
David
I
YouTube
maintain my
channel,
grip.
right?
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
I want to see a Cooking with David Henry, Cooking with the OG Giant Killer. That's what I want to see as a
I put
YouTube
some.
channel.
Me and Chef Rush are going to be doing a collab.
Okay,
You know Chef Rush,
awesome.
right?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Well, first I got to do my challenge because he was talking shit that I can't do it. So he's got the 222 challenge. You know what that is, right? Have you heard
No.
of that?
No.
222 push-ups in 2 minutes, 22 seconds.
Okay.
Uh,
I did 97 in a minute.
Okay. All right.
That paid for a free haircut. I'll tell you that. That's what I like the barbershop. Like I said, I haven't even lie. I have these stories, man. I got stories that just go on. It's true story. It was recorded. I got it on record. And I'm not talking half-ass push-ups. Everybody knows, even my clients know, I'm the push-up ninja.
Yeah.
I run them through the up and over push-ups. I do push-ups myself. I do walk-in push-ups with the dumbbells. You know, I just love that kind of stuff, man. I feel there's nothing better. It's just
Man. I really want to see some new food network stuff from you, man. I'm sorry. I just want to see it. I think that's some homework for you.
My YouTube has some things of me in the backyard
Okay.
smoking stuff too.
Where you live now? Are you based in Colorado? Where
No,
are you living now?
I've been in Colorado for years, bro. I'm in Enfield, Connecticut.
Whoa, you're in Connecticut?
Yeah.
This whole time he's been on the East Coast. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Damn.
A couple years back, I saw him hit one of the Cutlers, I believe.
Yeah.
Maybe 2022 or 2023 ish.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I just moved over from there, but if I knew, I would literally have done like driven up to shoot like a collab YouTube Cooking with David Henry. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
You know? I ain't going anywhere, man. I'm gonna be up here and stuff. So yeah, I've been cooking for a long time, man, and do competitive barbecue. Like I said, I'm that freaking dude that, man, you want to roll up and talk ribs, chicken, pork shoulder, brisket. We're gonna be on fire. We're gonna fight.
Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Speaking my language for sure.
I can cook anything else too. Yes, I can cook. I'm well versed in all kinds of other stuff. I abuse the crap out of my flat top. My flat top is probably like giving me double mills right now. Like, bro, stay out of here. It's like 12 degrees outside.
You were saying you're the push-up king. Being a career military guy as well as a pro bodybuilder, how did the training, I guess we're going to go back to training here. Weight training for bodybuilding is incredibly repetitive. We do the same motions every day. A lot of people become less mobile than they should be. You know, they kind of lose the athleticism. How were you able to keep up the athleticism needed to also be active military while bodybuilding?
There was no really athleticism needed in my career at my job, bro. I looked at bombs and ammunition for a living. So it was like weights. It was heavy shit.
They would lift the
500-pound bombs and 30 mil ammo and stuff. That's what I loaded, bro. So it wasn't like it needed skill and athleticism to do it. You had to follow the tech data.
So the deadlift just transferred. That all those moves just transferred over to what you needed to do.
Now, yes, they tried to wrangle me into helping all the freaking pointy heads do all their other shit. Like, you Sergeant Henry, man, he could help us. I'm like, whoa. Then we trying to volunteer me for y'all. Grab another couple bodies, man. I got stuff to do. You know that happens, guys. Every one of us know this.
Yeah.
You got
yeah.
you got the family member, somebody needs shit moved, and
Let
they're
me
calling you up. Hey, what you doing?
yeah,
Not something else.
I could get you a workout for today. Why don't you help
Yeah,
me move some
Yeah.
furniture?
yeah, right.
But I do want
Yeah,
to
none
stick
of
to
that stuff
training
impeded
though.
myself. And none of that stuff impeded anything. If anything, it did mess up my run because I'm not a runner. You know, we had that mile and a half run that sucks. So I had shin splints real bad. So basically, at the end of my career, last couple years in, my primary care wrote me a waiver, so I didn't have to run anymore. Because he's like, you know what, Sergeant Henry, look, you're near retirement. He goes, I'm more concerned about your overall health than this stupid PT test. I said, yes. So I'm gonna write you a waiver from the run. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, if you have shin splints, they suck.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Oh yeah.
Feel like somebody whacked you in the shins, like Vinny with a baseball bat, took some whacks in your shins. Man. It hurts like hell. So I suffered that all the time, man. I had
I
it
mean,
actually
last
diagnosed
off season.
and
Yeah.
stuff, and X-rays and scans of it and stuff, and that's what happened. They're like, "Yeah, you got some real bad adhesions pulling away from the bone kind of stuff." I was like, "The shit." So I was like, "Ooh, that sucks." No, I don't like that. So
Yeah. Well, my last question is still on training
yeah,
because right now, you started your career with dog trap, DC training,
correct.
right? And we know DC is very hard on the body
Yep.
over time. So I kind of want to ask, like, how was your training? Are you still doing DC style, or you've kind of moved into something different? What are you doing today? Because I think it's important for people to know you've been able to maintain a very decent physique over more than 20-year career at this point. So what are you doing right now to kind of maintain that? Like, what's your training style
I'm doing
today?
a hybrid style that I'm basically utilizing on my own. I did DC for lots and lots of years with my coach Scott Stevenson, and then he branched off and created his own fortitude training, which I was a guinea pig for that after he tested it on himself as well, which is how when he wrote his book as well. So that put a lot of size on and a lot of things, and I've utilized that basically when training my clients now, kind of like a hybrid kind of thing, and I'm doing that myself. I'm not sticking with one modality of training right now. So it's whatever I'm feeling at the time. I'll mix in concepts. I'll rest pause it. I'll Dennis James it. I'll MTUT it and stuff. And matter of fact, if you guys haven't seen those, get on YouTube and look up Dennis James trains David Henry leg day. I threw it up 3 times. That was 2 weeks out from the Olympia.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I
I
got
got my
trouble for that.
homework.
Got in trouble for that. It was painful. You probably look at yourself and you like start turning your head like, I don't even see this.
Those videos today, when I look at them, it's like, you're 2 weeks out for the Olympia. Like, give him a break, man. Like, God damn.
Scott on that one. Because I was just
Yeah.
talking trash to Dennis. I was like, oh, I can handle your leg day. He's like, bring it up, man, bring it up. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming up. He's like, make sure you drink a peanut butter shake. I'm like, what are you talking about a peanut butter shake? He goes, because it goes down the same way as it's coming up. This ticket was not kidding. Matter of fact, anybody other than Scott, I owe a debt of gratitude to, as for my career stuff, is Dennis James. That man has helped me craft my contracts and stuff like that. When he was getting Rami signed up, I was sitting in his backyard when he was taking a call. He helped me do my muscle tech contracts and stuff like that. So that dude is on point. Matter of fact, I do ping him every now and then for some professional info, related to training and client stuff. So yeah, I reach out to him as well.
That's awesome. Before we end here, I got a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Who throughout your career, or did you have this person that you were, in your head, you put that mental battle there that I have to beat this guy. I always want to beat this guy.
And you know what? Truth be told, it was Flex Lewis at the time. Through that stuff because, and it was just a media storm on him and the Welsh guy, just blowing up and taking. And there's several years where, legitimately I know I had it, so I should have a couple of Olympia spots behind me. But you can't revert past and just keep moving forward. But I know 2013 and another part in there that I was freaking ridiculous out there, and it should have had the nod. But because now social media started coming up, I think that's what ended it all. A constant string of second places. That sucks. And that's hard on the ego to do when you're used to winning things. You got to learn how to lose. And second place is losing. Sorry, it is.
Yeah.
That's the only even number that I don't like. Odd number one, I'll take that, but I don't normally do odd numbers. But if it's that, fine. But that was really, really him, man. And it was me versus myself. I knew if I saw an extra line here or vein popping out here or something I did better than the previous time. So you're your worst enemy.
Awesome. Absolutely. And my last question of the day, let's see. A top 3 memory of your career. Like, it can be a good memory, it could be a jarring memory, just something that sticks in your head, in your mind, in your heart, I guess, from your bodybuilding career that you'll always remember and will stay with you.
You know what? It probably was when Ronnie Coleman retired.
Okay.
2007.
Yeah.
I remember him taking 4th, and that's when I took top 10. And the picture of him sitting backstage with his head in his hands, man, like a man broken. I was like, damn, man, I'm like, this dude, he came back, and this is what they gave him. This is his swan song, and I get it. And I never really thought much about that, but I still see that image. I'm like, that is so. That's a top, definitely one of the top memories right there.
I guess I just that sparked something in my head really quick. Did it feel when Ronnie retired throughout the pro leagues, did it feel like a new era? Did the league feel different?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah.
The air was heavy.
Yeah. Interesting.
Shaq was around backstage, I think, at that time and stuff. Big ass dude, and it was crazy, man. Yeah. But yeah, it seemed like something shifted. Everything shifted, man, to what it is now, and you can feel it coming. But I was like, trying not to focus on that because when I'm not on stage, guys, I'll tell you right now, I don't look at social media and who's coming up and not. I just play my game. Once it's go time and I start prepping, and then I'll start looking at shit. But in off season stuff, I'm like, I don't care who's out there. I really don't. I'm taking care of family business and all this other stuff and concentrating on my businesses itself. So I don't care. I really don't. So I'm not all in the game of who's doing what,
Absolutely.
I'm really, literally, guys, I'm not trying to be a jackass and stuff, but I had to look you guys up.
I mean, anybody would have to look me up if we're being honest. And not so much me for sure.
I'm running a detail business, which I just got pushed back on. I have a detail business. I'm a firearms instructor and I'm a personal trainer. So those 3 right there keep me busy as shiznit. And I was just detailing. I'm down at Pete's RV over here in Connecticut, and I'm detailing RVs every day. And if people don't know about detailing RVs, it's not fun. Sometimes it's not fun. But that's my business. That's what I run, man. You're making $500-600 an RV, bro, and you doing like 3 or 4 a week.
Yeah,
you do the math
for sure. For sure.
So, that's awesome. I mean, yeah. With that being said, I mean, I'd like to wrap us up, David. I want to be respectful of your time. So, is there anywhere for the fans or anyone watching this, anywhere that they can reach you, anyone you want to thank, or if anything you want to promote? I just kind of want to open up the floor to you to wrap us up.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can find me on social media the same way you found me right here. You look me at David Henry IBB Pro for on Instagram, or Leveled Up Defense is my firearms one as well, and Olympia Pro Mobile Detailing is my other one, my third one. So those are the 3 areas that I'm in, man. And that's what I do. So if you want to find me there. Shoot me a DM. I mean, if you guys are in this area, man, and it's mid-summertime or springtime, and you think you want to come down and get some of what DH has got on the grill, bring it.
Absolutely.
I tell you, I cook and stuff. Even when I can't eat it, I cook anyway.
Yeah.
Listen, David, I know I was joking, but I'm actually being serious. Next time, because I'm originally from Jersey, but I live in Texas now. But next time I'm home, we're going to have to do a YouTube collab on that Cooking with Dave.
Yeah,
we're definitely going to have to do that.
I'm around, man. Right? As long as you guys thinking about me, any publicity is good publicity, even if they're speaking ill of your name, and that's what I've always said.
Absolutely.
We're thinking about you, right?
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. That's awesome. It's a good break of my day, of course, on a Saturday to get back on a podcast. I've been on several of these things throughout the years, and it's crazy. But let people know, nothing's changed with me. My story's still the same. Again, I have nothing to make up and embellish and stuff about. What you see, what you get. It's me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I just turned 51, just so people know that.
Whoa.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah. Everybody go look at that 51-year-old physique, please.
Yeah.
Everything will be linked down below in the description. Go look at that 51-year-old physique because it is better than your 30-year-old physique.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Your 26-year-old physique is better than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I told my daughter, I was like, what, you mean the other 51-year-old dads don't run around looking like me? No, they. So hey, you know what? It is what it is, man. And I hate that term, but I use it loosely every now and then, but it fits right now. So all good. You guys will see me probably later on, probably end of the year when I start ramping it up. Right now, I'm just maintaining. I'm not doing nothing silly at all. That's why I keep on track. So
you haven't chosen any shows for this year, right? You're thinking about the end of the year.
So for those that didn't know, I did tear my tricep January last year.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's why I've been on the stage. So now you guys know. You're like the only podcast, and I've been rehabbing it for a long time here on that. It sucks, but that's what happened. I had a freak accident. I just fell up some steps.
Wow.
I had no cool ninja stories for you. Sorry.
You weren't attacked by ninjas? Nothing?
No. No home invaders, no home intruders.
Yeah.
Well, Jose Raymond busted his smashed his quad, broke his quad, his femur, taking out the trash one year.
Wow. Wow.
Most events happen at home, right? None of the stuff that happened in the gym when I'm doing silly shit, but it happens when you trip up 2 damn steps.
It's never in the gym. Yeah.
Nope. So there's that.
All right. Well, with that being said, guys, you heard it here from the original giant killer, David Henry. Thank you so much for coming on the pod. And we'll have all the links for all his businesses as well as where you can reach him on social media below. So thanks, David. Appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate you guys, man. Be well. Be good to each other and everybody out there. Stay safe, and we'll see you around, man.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Awesome.